tax bills were received at the end of last week, so most residents seeing them understand now, what the impact is on a property tax basis. Just a few kind of clarifying points to address initially. First of all, that a declining property value does not necessarily mean a lower property tax bill. And that goes to how the bill is actually calculated. It's a formula that incorporates rate, the tax rate, along with the value of the property to ultimately come up with the tax bill. The rate is actually set not by the governing bodies. We actually adopt a dollar amount or a levy, and then the rate is kind of backed into. But just to clarify that point. From the village's standpoint, our portion of the tax bill is represented by 3 lines of a total of 24. And I included those here just to show what the description. They're a little cryptic and difficult to understand for some people, but this is basically the village portion of your property tax bill. And it's also important to note that the village engaged in a public process to determine, that ultimately led to the determination of the property tax levy beginning in May of 2009. So nearly a year ago when we started the long-range financial plan process that ultimately evolved into conversations that related to property taxes. And you'll see some slides. I have a few slides coming up. For those that were paying close attention, these will look familiar because they were reflective of the process we went through. So this came from the August 4th long-range financial plan meeting, where the plan for the 3-year plan was initially mapped out, and this shows what we were proposing broadly to do for 2010, which included expense reductions, an increase in the property tax levy for operations, an increase in revenue, other revenue sources, and $1 million use of reserves. The property tax bill that the mayor alluded to, this is what we showed. So this is the bill that was received in 2009 for 2008 taxes. As you can see, it shows a total tax bill of $4,380, of which the portion paid to the village just under 10% at $434. This was a summary slide from the tax levy presentation that was made on December 8th, 2009, where we summarized the components of the village tax levy. And to boil it down to where the money goes, this slide really captures it pretty succinctly. We have a portion that funds general fund operating, a portion that goes to stormwater infrastructure improvements, and then a portion that is dedicated to fire and police pensions. You can see the breakdown here. And the amount of the increase from 08 to 09 was $1.3 million. From that, we determined what approximately the average homeowner, a homeowner with a $300,000 piece of property, would be paying in additional taxes to the village based on this levy. That additional amount, $47.50. And when we look at those numbers in a slightly different manner, you can see again the breakdown in terms of dollars, but also percent of total. To put it in perspective a little bit, that $12.5 million that the village levies in total in property taxes, how that compares to, say, the combined police and fire department budgets, it's a small fraction of that overall amount, which is reflective of the fact that we have a diverse array of revenue sources that we can draw from. Fortunate in that regard. So then this is the bill, a snapshot of the bill that was just recently received, obviously much too small to read the actual language of the bill. Here are those 3 lines that pertain to the village. This is a property that has a value of $311,000, so slightly higher than that $300,000 example we provided earlier. In 2008, again, the bill was $434 to the village of a total $4,380. 2009, that amount increased to $483 to the village of Downers Grove on a total tax bill of $4,537, an increase of $49.47, just slightly higher than the projection from earlier, which is reflective of the increase in value. Again, just to hit on and put this into some broader perspective, there were a series of actions that were taken as part of fiscal year 2010 You can see what was done, largely consistent with the plan that was laid out in long-range financial planning, but included a combination of expense reductions, revenue enhancements, and strategic uses of reserves. And then as we start to focus on the future in 2011, there will certainly be any number of opportunities for people who are interested to participate. We will have dates associated with strategic planning, for which the contract was just approved this evening. Those will be announced very shortly. We have a date set for our long-range financial plan meeting of June 29th. The recommended budget is tentatively scheduled to be released in September. There will be a series of meetings scheduled thereafter, and other input opportunities will be provided as needed.